Uh, Very good morning, dear student. Today we are going to have not a chapter, but poem number 3 of your English book, First Flight, and the name of the poem is A Tiger in the Zoo. A Tiger in the Zoo is written by Leslie Norris. The full name of the poet is George Leslie Norris. He was a prize-winning Welsh poet and short story writer. He is considered as most important Welsh writers of the post-war period, and his literary work have won many prizes. His famous works are Finding Gold, The Loud Winder, Phoenix. Phoenix is a living poet series, and Ransom, etc. A Tiger in the Zoo, the poem written by Leslie Norris, explains the agony and helplessness of a caged tiger that lives in a zoo. The poet explains what his life could be if he had been a free animal. The poet has tried to explain about the condition of animals that are caged by human beings for their own fun. In the first stanza of the poem, the poet writes his talks and his vivid steps, the few steps of his case on pads of velvet quiet and his quiet rays. Stalks means to follow, vivid, bright colored, pads, paws of tiger, rays means anger. Here the poet says that the tiger that is confined in the zoo moves around in the cage under his bright colored skin. He further says that the tiger can take only a few steps because the cage is small and it is not easy to move in it. One cannot hear his footsteps because he has very soft feet like velvet, because of which there is no sound of tiger's footsteps. The tiger tries to control his anger by quietly walking in the limited area of his cage. He is angry because he is not free. In second stanza, he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plums deer pass. Lurking means to be hidden as to wait for your prey. The poet says that if this tiger was free, he would have hid himself behind the long grass near the water bodies so that he could easily catch a deer in order to have it as its food. Basically, the poet wants to say that the actual life of a tiger is to live in jungle where he could catch his prey and eat it, but the tiger in the cage cannot do so. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Snarling, warning sounds made by animals, bearing, uncovered, fangs, sharp tooth of animals. Although fangs is used for, especially used for the tooth of snake, but here fangs mean sharp tooth of animals. The poet says that if the tiger would have been free, he would have snarled around the houses located at the outskirts of the forest. He would terrorize people with his sharp tooth and claws. This would create fear among the people living in the villages. And in the last stanza of the poem, he hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Patrolling means to guard or to whistle. The poet says that in the night The tiger hears the sound of the patrolling cars. Patrolling cars are the vehicles of police which are used to guard at night. So, in the night, the tiger hears the sounds of these cars. He then stares at the shining star with his shining eyes. The poet wants to say that the tiger is sad, and as he is confined in the cage, so he cannot do anything. Therefore, he stares at the stars in the night and tries to divert his thought toward them. Thank you. Thank you. This is the end of this poem, and thank you very much for watching and listening this poem.